Chapter 8, Turtle. The Holidays of the Yahensue. The 13 sacred holidays of the Yahensue. Note, all holidays are for the whole family and visitors, including and especially, in some cases, the children. With the exception of the actual Passover ceremony, which is just for baptized Christian Rastas. But the children can watch and have their feet washed. Each holiday is simply practiced by reading the corresponding information from this chapter, or more if you want, that evening after dinner. And serve s'mores, which is extra fun if you're camping. And as you do this, so with each holiday you read what's in this book, and then after dinner, and then have s'mores. Okay, the first sacred holiday, Ethiopian Christmas. Ethiopian Christmas is on January 7th. The Yahensue do not do Christmas on the 25th of December, because it is not really the birthday of Jesus. Rather, it is the birthday of Nimrod. We celebrate Jesus on the Passover. To the Yahensue, Ethiopian Christmas is to celebrate Ethiopia. Also, the church in the era of Sardis, Revelations 3, 1-6. This era starts after the apostles of Jesus die and ends in 1930. We think of when Haile Selassie visited Jamaica to open the fifth seal, specifically when he put down a wreath at the foot of the cenotaph in memory of the blood spilled for Ethiopia, Revelation 6:9, during and after Sardis. We do not preach our beliefs about the Santa Christmas to other Christians. We don't want to ruin their foolish efforts to celebrate Jesus incorrectly, though it be. Instead, we deliberately ignore the 25th in our home, and we use Frosty the Snowman instead of Santa Claus, who was a pope. Instead of eating s'mores, we eat white frosted snowman sugar cookies decorated like Frosty and the Beanie Snowman. We eat these cookies from winter solstice to Ethiopian Christmas, and we decorate with Frosty the Snowman. We remember how things were before Haile Selassie, the good and the bad. We remember Ethiopia, the Ark of the Covenant, and the church in Sardis. Each year buy a book on the Sardis era and or Ethiopia, like the book The Ethiopian Tewahedo Church by Archbishop Yesok. The second holiday, Candlemas. Candlemas is on February 1st or 2nd. Note, most holidays aren't on the same day every year, so look it up each year when you buy a calendar. Candlemas is a day to clean your living quarters, as well as your mind and heart, in preparation for warmer weather. We light candles symbolizing the fires of creativity and inspiration. The third one, Spring Equinox. Spring Equinox is either March 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. Winter is over. Light is increasing. The day and night are equal in length. Spring has arrived or is coming soon. Growth is the theme. The fourth holiday, Beltane, April 30th or May 1st. Beltane is the time of the marriage of Mother Nature and the god of the greenwood, the beginning of the planting cycle, blessings of a bountiful harvest. The fifth holiday, Summer Solstice or Midsummer. Midsummer is June 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. It's the longest day and the shortest night of the year. Light triumphs, but will soon fade into darkness. The woods and forests have reached their peak fullness, a time of abundance. The sixth holiday, King's Birthday, July 23rd. This day we celebrate the birthday of Haile Selassie. We read chapter 4, verses 1-12 of this book in the Dragonfly Sutra. The seventh holiday, Lammas, August 1st, a time of hope and fear. Hope for a bountiful harvest and fear it won't be large enough for winter. Time to face your fears. Concentrate on developing your abilities and to take steps to protect yourself and your home and family. The 8th one, Mabun, which is fall equinox, September 20th, 21st, 22nd, or 23rd. The day and night are equal length in sublime balance. A time for thanksgiving. The summer was bountiful and beautiful, but it gives way to the desolation of winter. Darkness overtakes light. The 9th holiday, Samhain, aka Halloween, October 30th or November 1st. See Chapter 4 in the book to 21 Lessons of Merlin. The biggest festival of both witchcraft and our ancient ancestors in Britain, the Celts. The end of the year. Time to celebrate what has been accomplished that year. The veil between the physical and spiritual worlds is at its most thin moment of the year, so spirits are out. Hence the scary theme to protect. 1 jack-o'-lantern per child to protect them in the home that night. The 10th holiday, King's Coronation, which is November 2nd. The beginning of the new year. This day we remember the day Haile Selassie was given the golden crown, becoming the Lion of Judah of Revelations 5:5, Emperor of Ethiopia. We remember the husband and wife, king and queen of our home, mom and dad, or mom and mom, or dad and dad if gay. The 11th holiday, the Passover, mid-April. This is the holiday to celebrate our deity, Jah. This is the only holiday we ask the day off from work, the most sacred day of the year. Originally it was about the angel of death passing over the doors of the Hebrews that crossed their doors with blood in the days of Moses. And since Jesus, it is also about remembering his sacrifice for our healing on the cross, the night before the crucifixion. Jesus partook of the Passover supper, unleavened bread and wine, saying that we should forever do this to remember his sacrifice on the cross. Because Jesus is the Passover lamb who was slain for the physical and spiritual ills for healing and forgiveness. It is a night to reenact the Last Supper, the Passover supper, exactly as Jesus did it, with feet washing, etc. Then we sip, maybe, and watch the movie The Passion of Christ by Mel Gibson. See Mr. Armstrong's book, Instructions for Keeping the Passover. The children and visitors can eat some unleavened bread, and adults the kosher wine, which is Mogen David, just not the bread and wine in the ceremony. The 12th holiday, the Days of Unleavened Bread, the next week after the Passover. This week is to celebrate the number 7 and the opening of the 7 seals by the lion. 7 is the number of the healing power of the cross, the number of completion, or being completely healed. The first day is to celebrate the opening of the first seal, the first day of creation, and the meaning of the number 1. The second day is to celebrate the second day of creation, etc. Ancient Hebrews only ate unleavened bread all week, but the Yahensue just eat it at the Passover supper, and once each day of the 7 days of unleavened bread. The 13th holiday, winter solstice, which is around December 21st. The winter solstice is the fun one for the kids, because it is the night of that the beanie man brings them gifts in the kitchen. That night after dinner, the family gathers like all holidays, but instead of s'mores, we eat chocolate, cookies, and eggnog. Adults can put rum in the eggnog if they want. Because that was the beanie man's favorite snack. Instead of reading anything, we watched the cartoon classic Frosty the Snowman from 1969, and put any gifts from us in the kitchen with extra cookie and eggnog for the beanie man when he comes to leave more gifts. Between winter solstice and Ethiopian Christmas, watch the other 3 Frosty the Snowman movies, Frosty's Winter Wonderland of 1976. Oh, hang on a second. Frosty Returns of 1992. And Jack Frost with Michael Keaton in 1998. All 4 movies are free on the YouTube except Jack Frost. Make plenty snowman sugar cookies and maybe cocoa. Information on Frosty the Snowman. A. When Bob Marley was very young, he made friends with who he called the Beanie Man. The Beanie Man taught Bob to make a toy lizard out of grass leaves. Read the book The Boy from 9 Miles, The Early Life of Bob Marley by Cedella Marley and Gerald Houseman. B. Years later, the Beanie Man moved to Huntsville, Utah, and got a job working at the Snow Basin Ski Resort as a cook. C. The Beanie Man learned to ski and loved to bake chocolate chip cookies and make eggnog when he came in from skiing. He was a common sight skiing with his Rasta-colored beanie hat, and he loved to play songs for the children on his harmonica. He loved and practiced witchcraft. So this is the legend you tell your children, of course. Instead of Santa Claus. The Beanie Man, D. The Beanie Man often would go on vacation to Colorado to ski with his old friend from World War II. This friend was also a witch and is said to have created the magic top hat that brought Frosty the Snowman to life. He, however, sold it to a man named Professor Hinkle. He taught the Beanie Man how to make his beanie hat a magic hat too. They enjoyed smoking pipes like Rastas, playing harmonicas, and talking about the war. Now you know why Frosty the Snowman had a pipe and a witch's broom. So as I raised my son, I'd use this legend to make it more fun for him. E. In 1976, the Beanie Man died of old age. Legend is that skiers who used to ski with him were given his magical beanie hat at the funeral, and later they put it on a snowman that came to life and ran into the mountains. Still today folks say they see the Beanie Man in the mountains. Love resurrects his spirit for winter solstice so he can bring gifts. F. We learn with the cartoon movie Frosty Returns that snowman people can come to life with the power of love. We give magic to all we create, whether it's a hat or a song or food, if we do it with love from within. The tetragram. G. Santa Claus helps Frosty in Frosty the Snowman. Frosty here is an example of how we should be respectful to family and friends if they do the Santa Christmas, so their wintertime can be full of magic too. And H. In real life, love is what brings back ghosts. See necromancy and transcendental magic. Back ghosts from the dead, so they can resurrect physically. And there's a spiritual resurrection too, like in the second coming of John the Cloud. It's all from the power of love, which is overstanding.